Hello everybody, this is my video in astrophysics number 29. Well, as you can see, my native language is French, therefore I will try to speak the best English I can. And something else, I am not a professional translator, but I produce the best translation of my French text the best ways I can with a translator. And something else, I have to follow a text so that I don't forget important details, and in this way I produce the best video I can then. And for those who find my video without going through my website, let me introduce myself. My name as a self-taught and multidisciplinary scientist is Gilles Lauzon-Urtubise, and I am the owner of the First Human Multi-Intelligence.com site. So, as you know, the title of my video is Solar Nebula Hypothesis. Did it exist? Well, sorry, but the one they present by now, it's never exists. So then, well, the solar nebula hypothesis never existed because that is not how our solar system was formed. And I succeed in forming a theory of the formation of the solar system, but with two variants for 4 planets of the 8 planets in the solar system then. On the other hand, it is following the filing of my patent for my extraordinary spaceship and my exceptional first generation device that is used to produce 3 extraterrestrial gravitational technology. And during that time, perhaps my exceptional third generation device, which is used to produce much easier the 10 extraterrestrial gravitational technology much more easily then. So that I will be able to publish all of my theories that go into my theory of how the formation of the solar system, and which explain from A to Z the origin of all the elements that are used to form the sun, the 8 planets, and a certain numbers of objects in the solar system. And after this, and more information is available on my website, firsthumanmultiintelligence.com. But which is much more logical and complete because it succeeds in explaining the formation from A to Z of the sun, of the 4 terrestrial planets, which are Mercury, Venus, the Earth, and Mars, of the 2 gas planets, which is Jupiter and Saturn, and of the 2 planets of ice, which is Uranus and Neptune, as well as the formation of the certain amount of objects of the solar system. And explain a lot of other things that no scientist knows about the solar system by now. So this is a further evidence of a complete misunderstanding of how the universe works on a macroscopic scale on the part of all other astrophysicists before me. Because of course I know they have to going through some immense difficulty and complexity to overcome before all the other astrophysicists before me can begin to decode little by little how all the objects in the universe works. To then after this to be able to start forming different theories until they become satisfactory and agree with each other. And after this, and then to be able to start producing a sufficient quantity of theories that can all be complementary until they manage to explain how the universe works from A to Z, or almost, until proven otherwise, so as to achieve the same level of explanation as all of my theories of my imposing mother theory of how the universe works on a macroscopic scale. For me, of course, I pass through all of these complexity and decode all of these mysteries. So for me, of course, it's very easy to understand why no one before me had any chance to achieve such an intellectual feat. And of all my theories that go into my imposing mother theory of how the universe works on a macroscopic scale, there are none of them that can be called a theory of one or more accommodating magical thought, or accommodating mathematical magical thoughts, or any other magical thinking then. Because all of my theories are based on one or more relationship of physical cause to physical effects and nothing else then. In conclusion of this part of the text, my intellectual and humanitarian ambition and my responsibility as a multidisciplinary and self-taught scientist and humanist is to advance the knowledge of the humanity. Plus, it's to form the best website or social network which is used to be formed to protect all members of the society, plus to give all of the user of my website the best ideas, the best behaviors, the best practice and technique to protect the environment then. And to protect too all the animals in nature, because by protecting them we are also protecting us. And a multitude of system tools that help people to become a very good person and to protect all users against the ones that are not a good persons to meet or a good individual to meet. So, and lots of system tools, they can protect the future of the planet, the peace, and the democracy. So, and the terms impossible, it is a term for me that I will never respect, and as long as I am sufficiently in good physical, intellectual, and mental condition. So, something else, I need help to start forming a small research center in astrophysics, physics, particle physics, chemistry and biology in a form of PPP. So in capital letter, PPP. For those who do not know the term PPP, it means public and private partnership. Because thereafter, I intend to buy back the government investment and ultimately becomes the sole owner of this research center. So a slow start that will allow me to hope to be able to stay in control of the investment until I can become independent enough to buy it out. So the start of my research center must begin with hiring a science writer and a volunteers group of students and one or two science professors who would serve as my review committee to correct, adjust, or finalize my final decision about my scientific articles then, until they are as perfect as possible, so that the participation of the student and professor, they will serve as training towards new notion of astrophysics, which aim to correct false notion of astrophysics, of the actual they have in astrophysics right now, which is totally false then. Or in other cases where there is currently no physical explanation for this or that phenomenon of how the universe works on a macroscopic scale. Because they have a lot of phenomena, then the astrophysicists have no ideas what happens. So that's why I succeed to decode the way of the universe works, because I resolve all the phenomena then. In addition, and if possible, I intend to form a scientific journal in my name, because apart from most of the measurements that are made from Earth's powerful telescope, relative to the approximate volume of objects or other rough measurement that I accept, because of course this approximation is pretty acceptable for me, because it is the best thing they can do, well, by the distance. So then, and something else, most of the theory produced to try to partially explain the functioning of the universe on a macroscopic scale, they are erroneous or no existent. So I have a huge wall of little bricks, which they are all theories that fit into my imposing mother theory of how the universe works on a macroscopic scale then. And which are used to explain from A to Z, or almost, the origin of all the objects of the universe, as well as their mode of formation, as well as their mode of functioning after they was formed, and the circumstances or condition which led to one of or the other different possible death, plus many other things specific to each type of objects. But that I will only reveal after filing my patent for my extraordinary spaceship. On the other hand, and about a year after the start of my self-taught studies in astrophysics, which began in early February 2014, when I invent without realizing it at the time, but the day after, when I realized and I invent an exceptional first-generation device that is capable of producing my first alien technology, gravitational technology. From that point on, I found it extremely unfortunate that I had to continue working alone, because of the pattern that I had to continue to keep in secret. Then because for the last 6 years and 2 months or so, I have been forced to work alone. But now that is no longer the case, because I have completed all the parts that contain my invention in astrophysics, and my invention in physical mechanics for the construction of my extraordinary spaceship of the first generation, as well as those of my exceptional first device, which is capable of producing my three extraterrestrial gravitational technology. In the meantime, it may be possible for me to decide to patent my exceptional third generation device, which is capable of producing the 10 extraterrestrial gravitational technology much more easily for my extraordinary spaceship of the third generation. And to conclude this part of the text, if I had been able to work for the last 6 years and 2 months with collaborators from a research center, I will have invented and or produced a lot more new things then. So thank you for viewing my video, and welcome to my next video, which will reveal my opinion on another pretty complex subjects of the universe. So thank you, goodbye.